Give you other locations where tickets are available. Remember, this is to help the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch, which in turn helps the many orphans in our area.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. 81 degrees here at the studios, and the interstate is starting to show signs that people are hitting the roads and coming here.
Nice.
They're starting to come here. And we live in a tourist destination, but I got my own destination. You ready what I have?
Yes.
I have a bucket list of 3 cities. Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to see America too, but these 3 are in Europe. I want to see Liverpool, because I'm a Beatles fan.
Uh-huh.
Liverpool, England. I want to see Velbert, Germany, because that's where my mother was born. And I want to see Paris, France, because it just looks awesome.
Yeah.
Those are my 3. My extent of leaving this country is Quebec, which was kind of cool too. But it's not that far away as far as, being far from the United States. Julie Loffredi is on the phone. She's an award-winning broadcast journalist. Wow, she's been on CNN, Fox News, Good Morning America, the Today Show. She's named one of the top 7 television travel authorities, and she's going to talk about some travel trends. Good morning, Julie. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Have you ever been to Liverpool?
I haven't been to Liverpool, but you've got some others there on the list that, yes, I have. But I think your trip to Germany sounds really cool, doing kind of the trip down memory lane.
Yeah, well, wouldn't be my memory, and my mom's passed away since, but I've often wanted to see this place that she was only 3 when she left, but my grandparents would talk about it. And the problem is, when you want to do something virtually with Google Street View, I guess the government of that town didn't allow it because you can't see it on there. It's not there, so I have no idea really what I'm missing. So.
Well, I'll say now is really the time to get started with, the summer trip planning. And, this summer Europe is back on the map as a top destination.
Is it really?
If you're considering taking a trip, I always tell folks to first set a budget and then visualize your ideal trip. Do you want something more family-friendly, more sightseeing, great food and wine and R&R? Setting those travel expectations ahead of time can really help. And then picking a destination. Here's where people get kind of, stressed out about. But remember, with Europe, you can see more than one city or country in a pretty short amount of time.
Really?
And then getting your travel documents in order, like passports, and also starting the research early. Even doing some window shopping is great. For the best deals on flights, I always say check Hopper, comparison sites like Kayak or TripAdvisor. If you're flexible with your travel dates, that's even better. You can often find better deals, like even if you move a departure from a Monday to a Wednesday, you could save a few $100.
Really?
Once across the pond, trains are the easiest way to travel Europe. And Rail Europe is the only kind of one-stop shop for European travel products. So that's great if you want to bounce around, take a day trip from London to Paris, Madrid to Barcelona, Venice to Rome.
Does the train from London to Paris go through the Channel? I guess it has to, right?
Yeah.
It's only about 2 hours each way.
Really?
Wow.
It is like lightning speed fast. It's like 186 miles per hour.
Oh, man. Have you done it?
Yeah, and it's a great day trip for folks. And, going on the trains, that's really how the Europeans do it, It's, some of the train rides can be kind of swanky and fashionable. You can get a great meal, stare out the window at the countryside, and then actually, talk to the locals on your way to the next destination. And it can be part of kind of the trip experience, kind of like...
Oh, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Did Robin tell you I like trains? I don't know why I do, though.
Yeah, you love trains. You love watching train videos.
I want to see. Yeah, I haven't done one yet. I mean, I've done, when I lived in New York, I did the commuter trains, but I've never done like Amtrak. I've never done that.
Yeah, well, your commuting experience in New York would probably be way worse than taking a nice leisure ride.
Okay, okay.
So good news there. And then, for folks who are kind of on the fence about where to go in Europe, the best overall destination is really London. It's still a crowd favorite. It was top pick by travelers on TripAdvisor this year. And from there, you can easily hop over, to Paris or Amsterdam. And then if you do a lot of sightseeing, you can save a ton of money. The British Museum's free. You can walk around near Buckingham Palace and Oxford Street where there's a lot of cool shops. So that's kind of a great place.
I have a question for you. The other day, we were speaking to a guy who was visiting Florida. He's a tourist from London.
Yes.
And he was saying, I appreciate your gasoline prices. We said, how much is it in London? He said $14 a gallon.
Yeah.
Is that accurate, or did he mean 14 pounds, or is it how much is it really?
Well, that's why I don't take a car. That's why I would just not even bother. I think his price point was probably a little higher than, with the conversion. But a lot of times people think, I should, visit Europe and rent a car. But it can actually be a big hassle because first you're driving on, maybe the wrong side of the road sometimes, and then also, the GPS might not work well, especially when you're like the back hills of Ireland or something. So it can kind of be a little nerve-wracking, that's why, you might want to...
I just looked it up. I don't even know how to translate this. It says $1.07 a liter. That doesn't sound like $14 a gallon to me. I don't know what that sounds like. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, do you recommend...
A pound, 1.07 pounds. I mean, not $1.07.
Do you recommend that when we are going to a place like Paris, perhaps, to check out the sites and everything and make a list of the things we want to go to before we go there, but also leave room to just kind of explore on our own if we're going to take a already established travel guide tour?
Yeah, I think it's great to, do as much research ahead of time if you can. Like if you use that Rail Europe site, you could, add on tour packages and museum passes with your train tickets, which is kind of nice. But, if you're looking at kind of where to go, the biggest thing is not be overwhelmed. So pick one or two things to do a day, like visit the Eiffel Tower, and then leave kind of the wiggle room for the afternoon to kind of do your own thing, kind of walk around a bit more. Obviously, if you could get the maps on your phone instead of holding a big map and with a big backpack looking like a tourist.
Right.
Too. But, yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, a lot of us want to do Europe in a week. You can, but you don't want to feel overwhelmed. So that's why, trying to kind of come up with like, okay, there's one main thing I want to do each day, and then kind of leave the rest of the day sort of open to explore and don't feel, stressed out about it.
So what do we need to know about the language difference? Obviously, there's not one in England. Are they offended if we don't know French, if we don't know Spanish, or
we should try?
Yeah, or German. Well, yeah.
I think, a lot of folks are surprised when they go to Europe that they can get away pretty easily without, there being a huge language barrier. For folks who are concerned about that, there's two things. One, if you might be more apt to doing tours where you have a tour guide who, can bring you along without you having to, test your Spanish skills.
Yeah.
And then also, use your phone. I have, I've used like translator apps on my phone before. Those are really great. And then, you'd be surprised. It's a lot easier than folks.
Oh man, you're making me want to go. By the way, I just did the math. Gasoline in England, in our terms, is $5.89 a gallon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not $14. I don't know where he got his numbers from.
Well, still a lot more than us.
That seemed a little high to me.
All right, yeah, that seems really high. Okay, and another question: when you go to England, do they refer to it? Hey, how you doing? Do they refer to it as England or Great Britain? What is? I never know what to call it. Oh, United Kingdom, UK.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you ask. But basically, if you just say England, I think you're safe.
They'll be fine.
I wouldn't be too I wouldn't be too concerned about it.
Okay. Are we allowed to shake the Queen's hand? And that's not going to happen, but.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we can't touch
Julie,
her.
do you have the lifestyle like Samantha Brown or Anthony Bourdain? Do you do that stuff?
So what?
The lifestyle. Like, can I watch videos of you in Europe and?
Oh, yeah. I actually was just at Samantha Brown's house a few months ago in Brooklyn. She's great, and talk about a whiz at traveling. But, yeah, I do actually a ton of travel writing, which I love. And, for me, they did a study once that showed, people are sometimes get more excited about the trip planning process than actually the trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of, I have a habit on a Friday night just kind of stuck on TripAdvisor for a few hours just looking at some, great destinations.
Oh, I do this. I do the same thing. I live vicariously through my computer. I live through people like you and Samantha Brown and Anthony Bourdain. They're like two opposites, huh?
Yeah.
Anthony and Samantha, they're like two opposites. Yeah. So I can watch you. I'm gonna go. So go to. I guess the website we want to tell the listeners is raileurope.com.
Yeah, that's a great place to start, for sure, especially if you're looking to kind of ride the rails and see more than one spot in Europe.
And where do we see you? Where or read your writing? Where do we go for you?
You could go to my website, julielowe.com, if you want to learn more, or, you could shoot me up on Twitter.
Just Julie Lowe, L-O?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, Julie, I'm going to have to look you up. Julie, thank you for being on the air with us today. That was fun.
All right, thanks for having me.
I hope I bump into you one day and say, hey, you talked to me on the radio. And you'll say, get out of here. Get out of here. I think she left. Is she gone?
No.
All right, we'll be right back.
The Orlando Fringe returns its 25th anniversary festival, May 18th through the 30th, with nearly 1,000 performances from local, national, and international performing arts companies. There is truly something for everyone at the Orlando Fringe. For tickets and information, visit orlandofringe.org or call 407-648-0077. We hope to see you on the Fringe. Orlando Fringe. 25 years bold.
Here she is, folks.
The nuns at Queen of Angels